fucking bitch! Get the fuck out!
Yeah, you fucking punk ass kid! You
fucking
punk!
Come on,
you're a fucking punk!
Back up!
Back off. Don't do that. Stand. You understand? Don't do that. Back up. Back up. Back up. You don't stand up. You back up. You back
Get out of my face! Back off! Back off! Back off! Back off! Back off! You back off! You back off! You back off! You back off!
Back up.
You back off! Get back in your fucking car! You get the fuck out of here!
This is Dan Dicks here, reporting for Press for Truth, and the riots have begun, ladies and gentlemen. There are intense clashes happening right now between the police and protesters. There were a number of them outside of the Supreme Court, and the intense riots are now happening in the wake of this Supreme Court of the United States draft leak, which essentially was a majority opinion of the majority of the justices there at the Supreme Court of the United States, who agree that Roe v. Wade should be overturned. And this, of course, has caused a pretty large debate in the US, which, as I said, has just transcended into some riots, as we know was going to be coming. So today we're going to take a look at why some of these things are happening right now, why people would be frothing at the mouth, you know, in a rage, trying to figure out how they can get back to killing babies. Well, today we're going to take a look at this, guys. MAGA is the most extreme political organization in American history, according to Biden, as he warns Republicans that ultra-MAGA agenda and suggests that they'll ban LGBT children from classrooms if Roe v. Wade is overturned. We're also taking a quick look at this. CNN's fear-mongering on interracial marriage and Roe. Yeah, you don't think that's going to stir up some controversy? We'll also look at what Trudeau has to say. Of course he's going to chime in on this opportunity, as Trudeau says Canada will never back down on protecting women's rights. And right here in British Columbia, we have the finance minister saying, "Over my dead body." The BC government strongly condemns info in Roe v. Wade draft leak, guys. So we're going to talk about all of that and much more in this video. But before we do, I'd ask that you check me out at subscribestar.com/pressfortruth. This is like a Patreon alternative. I've recently been kicked off of Patreon. I had over 300 patrons there contributing on a monthly basis, but that was all taken away at the snap of a finger. So I'm hoping to build up my Subscribestar to similar numbers that I once had on Patreon. Subscribestar is far less likely to censor me and my content here at Press for Truth, guys. So if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this info, please check me out at subscribestar.com/pressfortruth. All right. Guys, yesterday's video that I put out was titled "Bombshell Leak Shows Roe v. Wade to be Overturned, Enraging the Left Who Want to Kill Babies." And sure enough, here we are. As you saw from the clips in the beginning of this video, rather intense clashes with the police there. And a lot of these guys, you know, are hardcore extreme leftists, essentially identifying as, you know, commies out there. And these are the people who actually pay close attention to government and often look to the government to solve the problems that were caused by the government. So speaking of that, let's just take a look at what the government is saying in regards to are Roe v. Wade and what this may lead to. Here we see President Joe Biden called the MAGA crowd the most extreme political organization in American history in a full-throttled attack on Republicans and their ultra-mega agenda in free speech from the White House on Wednesday. He also warned that the GOP could ban LGBTQ children from classrooms if Roe v. Wade is overturned, and signaled that they could even reverse the 1965 Griswold versus Connecticut case that struck down a state law banning the use of contraceptives by married couples. Guys, we're gonna break this down, but this is just absolutely nonsense fear-mongering, and half of it doesn't even make any sense. I mean, look at this. Joe Biden says that the full-throttled attack on Republicans is their ultra mega agenda, warning them that they could ban LGBT children from classrooms. Well, first of all, guys, there's no such thing as LGBT children. Trans kids don't exist. You know, just like how there's no such thing as a vegetarian cat or a vegan pit bull. What you have there is the case of the owners inflicting their own ideology onto their pets, and what you have going on here as well is parents inflicting their own sexuality and gender ideology on their children. So let's remember that moving forward. There's no such thing as trans kids. There are little boys and there's little girls, and then there's child abuse from parents who push their own ideology on kids. Let's continue. It says it was a ramp up in rhetoric from Biden following the Supreme Court leak that caused a firestorm and protests across the country, and a further condemnation of Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill that bans teachers from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity before the 3rd grade. I mean, if you have a problem with that, you are seriously messed up. You know, people fighting this bill that wants to stop teachers from being able to speak to children before the 3rd grade about sexual identity and gender orientation. I mean, if you are doing that anywhere around a grade 3 person that I see, I mean, I'm gonna call it for what it is: absolute child abuse. And I can't believe there are people actually fighting this bill. But this is what we're dealing with. This is why you have people storming like a single cop, you know, and basically like threatening him, and then turning around and calling it police brutality or something. It's just absolutely insane, guys. But let's look at this too. This is a heavy fear-mongering that's been coming out of CNN, as we see here. CNN blasted out a push notification on Wednesday morning promising to explain what overturning Roe v. Wade could mean for the future of same-sex and interracial marriages. It's impossible to wall off reversing Roe from landmark marriage and contraception rulings, reads the headline of the article, which was written by CNN Supreme Court reporter Adrienne DeVogue. Some progressives, including Representative Eric Swalwell, have been making this argument since the leak of the draft opinion from Justice Samuel Alito in Dobbs versus Jackson's Women's Health Organization that would do away with the framework established by Roe and Planned Parenthood v. Casey. On Tuesday, Swalwell tweeted that the Republicans won't stop with banning abortion. They want to ban interracial marriage. And again, this is just nonsensical fear-mongering, essentially. This is not going to happen. This is designed to drum up the riots and the debate into territory that's getting people to become not only aggressive but downright violent, to the point of saying they'll risk their own lives. Like this counselor in BC. I want to go over what Trudeau has to say about this as well. But let's quickly look at what she has to say here. The finance minister in BC: over my dead body, BC government strongly condemns info in Roe v. Wade. A draft leak. The BC government is adamantly opposed to the plans raised in a leaked draft opinion from the U.S. Supreme Court to potentially overturn Roe v. Wade. Speaking to reporters following question period, Finance Minister Selina Robinson said abortion rights would be only be stripped in BC over my dead body, she says. Government Parliamentary Secretary for Gender Equality Grace Lohr read an emotional speech in the legislature in condemnation of the U.S. Supreme Court's draft opinion. And I'm going to put links to all of this in the description below. You can go watch her speech. It's absolutely crazy. She won't refer to pregnant women as women. She calls them pregnant people, you know, which begs the question in all this. Do so-called pregnant men have a say in what's going on with Roe v. Wade and this abortion debate? You know, a lot of people say men shouldn't have the say in what a woman has to do with her body, without knowing that it was all men who decided on Roe v. Wade. That's who made the decisions on women's so-called rights there to kill their babies. But let's look at what Justin Trudeau had to say about this. Of course, he's going to chime in on an opportunity like this when he can. Trudeau says Canada will never back down on protecting women's rights on abortion, reacting to a leaked U.S. Supreme Court draft opinion on the fate of Roe v. Wade from Monday. Canadian Prime Minister Justin said on Wednesday that his government would never back down on defending women's rights in Canada and abroad. So let's take a quick look at exactly what he had to say.
First of all, the freedom of a woman to choose belongs to her and her alone.
Oh, really? But in Canada, if she refuses to get vaccinated, you will take her job away and restrict her ability to travel?
In Canada, every woman has a right to a safe and legal abortion.
Does that include men who get pregnant? Again, this sounds like a ridiculous question, but this is all going according to his ideology.
And this government will never back down on defending and promoting women's rights in Canada and around the world.
Well, good thing the courts can override what you're doing. That's how it works, you tool. That's exactly what just happened in the United States. But anyways, just wanted to bring this stuff to your attention today, guys. Really crazy. It was no surprise that it was gonna descend into this kind of chaos, because people are adamant on having the right to kill their babies, and a lot of people are saying, Dan, it's not a baby when it's on the inside. Well, consider this, guys. They are literally pushing bills that would allow a mother to terminate the baby, the human being, the life form that has a separate body, a separate DNA, would allow this to happen in the third trimester as the woman is dilating. Check this out.
Talking about your bill, how late in the third trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
Or physical health.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the mental health.
So, I mean, through the third trimester. The third trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Okay, but to the end of the third trimester.
Yep, I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
So, where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth, she has physical signs that she is about to give a birth, would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified? She's dilating.
Mr. Chairman, that would be a decision that the doctor, the physician, and the woman would
I understand
make at
that. I'm
that
asking
point.
if your bill allows that.
My bill would allow that, yes.
So there it is. I mean, how sick and twisted is that? That they can do that, you know, terminate that precious, most innocent forms of life on this planet, I may add, completely defenseless. To be able to terminate that little life is downright evil, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why this potential overruling of Roe v. Wade is such a hot button issue, and why we're seeing the riots. And I gotta you know, warn you guys, it's only going to get worse. You know, this is only given it if Wade v. Roe is overturned, this would essentially give the states the ability to decide whether or not to make this illegal or not. So it's not going to be a thing on a federal level anymore, and that this may spread from state to state as more and more continue to make it illegal there. People will want to come to Canada. Maybe the Supreme Court of Canada will be brave enough to consider doing the same thing that they did in the US. But I wouldn't have my fingers crossed on that one, considering the way this particular country has been going, guys. But at any rate, it is good news. It's a step in the right direction. We're going to continue to follow this over the next couple of months, because it's going to take a lot of time for this decision to be made. But I think while that continues to happen, we're going to see these riots continue to unfortunately happen. And I'll continue to document it. If you appreciate my efforts, once again, don't forget to check me out at subscribestar.com/pressfortruth. You can sign up for $5, $10, $20, whatever is within your means to be able to contribute is greatly appreciated. And that's all for today, guys. Just wanted to bring all this to your attention. Once again, don't forget to click that thumbs up button and share this video if you found this information to be useful. And stay tuned, we're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.